Sales.
Start the new year right in a new Chevy from Bennett, where we sell new Chevys at the true GM supplier employee price. Yeah, you pay what our employees pay, not a penny more. Plus, at Bennett Chevrolet, you keep all the rebates. That's incredible. That's right, you save both ways, saving you up to 20% off the sticker. But it gets even better, because right now there's available 0.9% financing, saving you even more. 0.9. And get this, if you're looking for a pre-owned, Bennett Chevy will pay you a minimum $10,000 for any old clunker you can get here towards any pre-owned in stock. You'll get at least 10 grand for total junk. Imagine how much you'll get for a good trade. And one more thing, Bennett's sales team is paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. That makes a huge difference. No hype, no pressure. Together, let's drive. Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
Home of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig.
It's good!
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
And he scored!
Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio, here's Josh Hennig.
To the 50, to the 45, spin move to the 40, Barkley still going, zigzags inside, 20, 15, 10, touchdown, Saquon Barkley! He is incredible! 60 yards, spinning away from would-be tacklers. He just does it over and over again. Eagles take the lead. And that's it. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. A dominant performance in the NFC Championship game. The Eagles are headed to New Orleans. 55-23. Record-setting effort for Nick Sirianni's squad.
As heard here on 97.3 ESPN yesterday and on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle, Ian Eagle and Kurt Warner on the call yesterday, and nobody in their wildest dreams thought the Philadelphia Eagles were going to set a record, okay? They didn't just win the game. They set a record for most points ever scored in a championship game. And now, for the second time in 3 years, the Philadelphia Eagles will be in the Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni becoming the first head coach in Eagles history to lead the organization to 2 Super Bowl appearances. We'll get into all that and more this hour and for the next 2 weeks here. Josh Hennig hanging out with you in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios on 97.3 ESPN. As always, you guys can join the conversation. Tell me how you're feeling. We are now 24 hours removed from the Philadelphia Eagles entering Super Bowl 59. 609-403-0973. Your DMs into 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. And we are live on my YouTube channel at Josh Hennig. Like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. So here's the deal. We got Andy McNamara coming up in less than 20 minutes. We're going to review the whole of NFL Championship Sunday. But I want to zero in on the game yesterday because there were a couple of major takeaways I had from watching the game yesterday. And number one was the Eagles did not sit on their hands and stay conservative. You know, Jalen Hurts has the comment right now that everybody has heard where he said, hey, let me have a straitjacket. You know, you saw the Dallas Goedert run on the end around. They tried some different things. They were creative. They were assertive. They didn't just, take it easy. They didn't play it, safe the whole game. Now, you do have to wonder, do they make some of the play calls they make later in the game if Jake Elliott makes that field goal earlier, okay? I totally understand that, and that is a factor in the conversation. But as you watch the game play out, I think if you are an Eagles fan, and I'm speaking for myself, and maybe somebody feels differently, you guys can let me know. But for me, I didn't feel like the game was really in hand in the game yesterday until this happened. And This is courtesy of the Eagles Radio Network. Merrill Reese, take it away.
Daniels back one more time. He looks, he pumps. He is going deep, and it is intercepted. It is intercepted for the second time in 2 weeks. It is Quinyon Mitchell who comes down with the ball. He bobbled it and still caught it going down. And now I will say it. The Eagles leading 48-23. The Eagles are 4 minutes and 51 seconds away from Super Bowl 59.
That Quinyon Mitchell interception to me was the moment that I realized, you know what? We can let out the collective sigh of relief. Because you knew how explosive Washington was. You knew how high-powered they were. You saw them do it against the Lions. You saw them do it in Tampa. You saw them do it against you a few weeks ago. You knew what Washington was capable of. And I thought the Eagles coaching staff did an amazing job at playing containment. You know, I talked about it, whether it was last week here on 97.3 ESPN, whether it was on Sunday with Billy Schwein in the locker room. It was the idea that 20 years ago, the Philadelphia Eagles had to contain Michael Vick and the Atlanta Falcons offense, and they did that. I thought Fangio did a very good job at containment of Jaden Daniels. Now, listen, it's not that they didn't score at all. That Terry McLaurin touchdown was a lot of missed tackles, okay? And you could argue that there were moments in the game where it felt like Washington got some easy yards at times. But the forced fumbles really broke their back. The forcing of, Austin Eckler's fumble, the opportunities on De'Ami Brown where they got it out of his hands, I felt that those turnovers, it just slowly broke the will of that Washington Commanders team. And for me, I don't look at that game. I know the final score is going to probably create an optic, right? It's going to be the visual of, wow, they beat them 55-23. But that game was more about resilience than anything else. You went into that game. Cam Jurgens was active, but he didn't start because of his back. Dickerson started, then Dickerson hurt his knee. He had to leave the game. Jurgens, injured, had to come into the game. Tyler Steen is playing left guard in the biggest game of the year. Kenny Gainwell goes down with a concussion. Will Shipley now all of a sudden becomes the backup running back. Philadelphia had to grind, and they embraced it. There's that saying that a lot of people like to use in terms of, being tough in today's soft world. They say, embrace the stink, right? Embrace what is going to be negative for you and own it and take advantage of it. I thought Philadelphia did that last night. I felt that Philadelphia said, we are not going to lose this team just because we have some injuries. We are not going to let Nakobe Dean, Landon Dickerson, Kenny Gainwell, or anyone else getting banged up or injured stop us from the ultimate goal, which is checking off another item on the to-do list. This team is treating this run like it is a business trip. Saquon Barkley after the game last night.
Amazing, man. It's amazing. We're here, Super Bowl. But the goal wasn't just getting there. The goal is to win. And we're going to celebrate, enjoy this, and get right back to work.
There's a lot of Eagles last night who said that, hey, we're going to be happy that we got this championship, but this was not the goal. This was not the mission. And I think that's the biggest difference one of the biggest differences between 2 years ago and this time round. I thought 2 years ago, there was a part of the Eagles players, the team, they were almost happy to be there, right? It was the idea that, wow, we got to the Super Bowl. Wow, we can't believe we're here. And I don't know if that focus impacted them negatively or not, but you can tell there is a much more of a business approach to this trip. A.J. Brown talked about after the game, hey, I'm going to be more focused and zeroed in this time round. You hear guys like Lane Johnson talk about what his message is to the young players who were not on the team 2 years ago.
Enjoy the process, but at the same time, you got to realize that there's still a game to be played, and don't forget the last one. There's a lot that you can learn in losses, but with us, I think it's don't get too emotional. Work on execution. That's what it goes down to in the game. So we'll enjoy this tonight. Get ready for New Orleans here in a couple weeks. Get some guys rested up, but some of these young guys, man, this stuff don't come around often, so enjoy it.
It's the balancing act. It's the idea that this organization is on a mission. They want to enjoy the going through the steps, but they are still on a mission. And I think that is one of the major differences between the last 2 years and this year. And I think that this Eagles team, I think, is much more equipped to win a championship than they were 2 years ago. 2 years ago, a lot of the conversation was about the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. This time, it's not about the quarterback. It's about the defense. It's about the running back. It's about the offensive line. And I think that is what's going to empower them to this position. Because one of the problems you saw yesterday in the Bills and the Commanders losing was those two teams are so hyper-dependent on their quarterbacks. They are so built around, we live or die with our quarterback. Josh Allen, the last two plays of his season, never had a chance. Steve Spagnuolo drew up these amazing exotic blitzes, and he never really had a chance. And Josh Allen still got a pass off at the end of the game. Jaden Daniels, his team, they tried, okay? But they were never in a position to give him the best opportunity to be successful. One, because their offensive line was depleted. Two, because they were so dependent on him to make them great. You saw yesterday that Jalen Hurts was a part of the team winning. He wasn't the reason the team won. And I think that team over me mentality, that team over individual, is what will be the ultimate reason why this team wins or loses. And remember, the Philadelphia Eagles are the only team in this postseason who have not committed a turnover. Every other team has committed at least one turnover. Let's hit the text board. We'll beat the break. 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. And then, of course, everyone is saying, let's go Birds, let's go Eagles. I've been seeing that everywhere over the last 24 hours. I personally have my own handful of GIFs or GIFs, whatever we call them nowadays. I don't know. That I use when people want to say go Birds, but that's just me. Jeff from Ocean City chimes in. He said, I feel the Eagles are on a mission and Saquon will carry the Birds to a title in New Orleans. By the way, great show by you guys over there at the Chicken or the Egg in Marlton. He goes on to say the Eckler fumbles what clinched it for me yesterday, says Jeff in Ocean City. Well, Jeff, first of all, thanks for stopping by to the show with Billy Schwein, myself, and Dave Klemick yesterday. 1, 2, the Eckler fumble was wild because, I don't know when this team became so good at punching the ball out and forcing fumbles, but it was pretty darn impressive yesterday. I think that this team has found their groove in forcing turnovers, interceptions, in forcing fumbles, and I think it's pretty exciting to watch that they have found a groove. Now, does the extra week off, how does that impact that momentum, right? Are they going to be able to pick up where they left off? Or is this going to be a team that gets off, that gets off to a slow start in the biggest game of the year? Can they afford to get off to a slow start? There's going to be a lot of questions about that as we head into the biggest game of the year. Sean from Violin chimes in at 609-403-0973. He says that, the Super Bowl will be bittersweet for him because he says, I'm a diehard Eagles fan, but I also will always cheer on Isaiah Pacheco. I feel like I can't lose, but I'm all about my Birds. Good luck to Pop. Let's go Birds. He says, it's our turn to make sure there is no three-peat. He says, I think Pacheco can have a great game and the Eagles can win. I think it's certainly possible. Listen, And by the way, Pacheco is an amazing athlete. If those who don't know his story, his journey to the NFL is something out of like a movie or something, because, you know, all these people wanted him to go to their private schools, right? You know, the powerhouse football schools. He chose to stay at Violent High School. And he was not heavily recruited. He ended up going to Rutgers. And then he was an overlooked prospect coming out of Rutgers, and he landed with the Kansas City Chiefs. And when there were injuries and when there were guys, listen, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was the high draft pick for that team. People thought he was going to be the guy. He gets injured, and Pacheco came in and has never let go really of that starting job. I think that, you know, he is still the starter for that team. I know Kareem Hunt has a role in that backfield, but it's Pacheco's basically for the most part. And I think that, you know, his story is absolutely incredible, but you're right. We want the Eagles to win. Pacheco can have 120 yards rushing, and Philadelphia can still, you know, win the game 35-31. All right, we all know that's certainly possible. All right, more text coming up a little bit later this hour. 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. We'll continue the football talk coming up next with Andy McNamara, NFL podcaster here on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on 97.3 ESPN with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Small.
Can't wake up without it.
Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
Take the winning drive to RK Kia of Vineland. Brand new Kias under $6 a day. $6. That's less than lunch. Lee's new Kia K4 under $6 a day. Even new K5 and Sorrentos under $7 a day. Now at RK Kia. Lee's new 25 Kia K4 LXS. $6 a day. K5 LXS and Sorrento LX with third row seating under $7 a day. $7. Plus get 0% financing for 72 months. 0%. Plus you get RK coverage, no charge. Ding repair, tire repair, wheel repair, windshield repair, and more. No charge. Brand new Kias under $6 a day. Take the winning drive to RK. RK Kia of Vineland. RK does it right. MyRKKia.com. MyRKKia.com. To qualified buyers plus tax and title. For details, call 856-641-1111 or MyRKKia.com.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on SingleCare.com. Show the coupon at the pharmacy and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to SingleCare.com or download the free app today.
Happy New Year from Brawley's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. With energy prices on the rise, don't pay more than you should to heat your home this winter. Upgrade to more efficient equipment with 0% financing, utility rebates up to $1,500, and no money down. Need heater service or repairs? Mention their first-time customer special for $25 off. As a factory-authorized Bryant dealer, Broadly does whatever it takes for your comfort. So give them a call today at 609-390-3907.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN. The Eagles will take on the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans on February 9th, a rematch of Super Bowl 57 for the Eagles, their fifth Super Bowl appearance in the second in 3 years. They're coming off a 55-23 win Sunday in the NFC title game. Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts each with 3 touchdown passes. They'll face a Chiefs team that's trying to become the first to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls. NHL, the Flyers are home tonight as they take on New Jersey. Now, home and home with the two teams playing in Newark on Wednesday. Philadelphia has dropped back-to-back games, losing to the Islanders on Friday night. The Sixers back in action Tuesday as they take on the LA Lakers. Philadelphia beat the Chicago Bulls Saturday 109-97. They've now won back-to-back games. Tyrese Maxey with 31 points. They will play their next 6 games at home. Progressive Insurance, bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where TurboTax Expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. A little cold front late tonight will sneak through South Jersey, kicking up a breeze and knocking temperatures back a bit for tomorrow. And that's it. This one's not a big deal. Look for increasing clouds late tonight and chilly temperatures, low of 31. Tomorrow, sunny clouds, breezy and slightly cooler, high 41. Mostly cloudy Wednesday with a chance of a late day shower, high 46. Only 35 Thursday. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
If you or someone you know needs help getting through a difficult time, start with NJ211. When you reach out to 211, we can connect you to help with housing, utilities, food, childcare, senior services, income support, healthcare, legal issues, and more. Help is available in over 150 languages, and the service is free, confidential, and available 24/7. Need help? Dial 211, text 898-211, or search nj211.org.
This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
And they're going to be a formidable foe for either team that comes out of the AFC. Two really good teams, two really good quarterbacks over there. But as we saw tonight, this is a complete football team with the Philadelphia Eagles. Can beat you so many ways: offense, defense, running, passing. They've got the entire roster, and it will not be easy to beat them in New Orleans.
As heard here on 97.3 ESPN yesterday, Kurt Warner on the call for Westwood One Sports. He says the Eagles will be formidable. Well, the odds makers don't seem to be buying into that yet because they have the Chiefs as the favorite right now. Should they be, though? Andy McNamara is back here. Of course, he is the host of the Sick Podcast. Like, subscribe, download wherever you get your podcasts. He joins us now on 97.3 ESPN. Welcome back, my friend. How you doing today? Well, we had Andy there for a moment, and he froze.
Did I get it?
You're back. Right? You're back. Oh. There we go.
Is that out? I sung in it. I was singing Fly Eagles Fly, and it took me off the air.
You were completely frozen.
Oh, I was going to flap. I was doing the song. Fly, Eagles, fly. However it goes. You sing Hang On, Sloopy, and bark like a dog at Browns games. But go Birds. How about it? Huh? Shut down those upstart Commanders. Bring on the Chiefs. Let's go.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
Let's go. Yeah.
For you, I think both of us had talked about this off the air about how we expected the Eagles to win the game yesterday. Yeah. But it's the way they won the game that has everyone buzzing, right? It's the idea that they won the game in this insanely one-sided final score. And so for you, do you look at that game yesterday as almost like a wow, I can't believe what I just saw, or a that's how it should have gone down?
I was surprised it got that far out of hand. I think the score is misleading because for the most part, until the fourth quarter, it was a close game. Like it was a case where the Commanders could have come back. So I think that final score is a bit misleading. But Josh, what I saw was determination and will for the Eagles. Almost like it didn't matter who they were playing at that point. They just kept going. They got the blinders on, man. Like this is a team that is super focused and honed in. And so the tone was set straight away. And in the Super Bowl, they got to try to set that tone again. It's Saquon Barkley is coming a lot. You got to try to stop him. Can you? And then if you can, I saw A.J. Brown make a couple of nice catches. I saw Jalen Hurts, no knee brace, moving well. and they forced their will on it. And I think that's a message to whoever was going to win that game, and turned out it was Kansas City. So this team, like Josh, you talk about peaking at the right time. This club seems super focused and determined to me.
You mentioned about Hurts and the no knee brace. That story is hilarious. I don't know if you heard that story, but he literally just took off the brace right before the game on the field and just like tossed it aside. It was like he's such an odd individual because he's so hyper stoic that like it's hard to like know like what is going on. Like you've seen the memes where it's like all these things happen, others has like no smile. And then it's like tush push smile, it's like, things like that. And it's like for him, like he said last night after the game, they took the straight jacket off of me, he said last night. So it's like, this team, they don't need him to win, but they can win because of him. Is that a fair assessment, Andy McNamara?
I think so. I also think, you're much better off than if you have Marcus Mariota in there.
You saw him last night.
And to Mariota's credit and the Eagles' credit, that's a very good backup pairing. I think if you did, if he gets banged up, Mariota can be competent for a little bit. It's not a total disaster. You're not having some bum come off the street. This is a guy who can actually run the offense. But to Jalen Hurts, what did we talk about last week, Josh? We said, what's wrong with the passing game? And I told you, nothing. Nothing's wrong with the passing game. They just run the ball really well. And what did they do this week? They ran in 7 freaking touchdowns. 7. That's more than the Dallas Cowboys had as a team all year. How about that? That's wild. That is a force. But also, they also distributed the ball. Jalen Hurts threw a touchdown. 96 yards for A.J. Brown. The point and the message to Kansas City has got to be this. This is not a one-dimensional team. This is a team, much like the Kansas City Chiefs with Andy Reid, are learning and adjusting to win whatever means necessary. You got to run the ball in 7 times? Fine. We got to throw it? Can do that too. This team, I think, is ready. Look, if we're looking at it early, Chiefs 1.5-point favorites, like, boy, Josh, the Eagles can win this game. The question is, by hocus pocus and whatever happens, can anybody beat the Chiefs? Because I thought if anybody was, that Bills team was ready to do it, and they couldn't do it.
Well, here's what I'll say. First of all, you mentioned the Bills. The problem with the Bills is like what the Washington was. I said before you came on. It's the idea that those teams were built for their quarterback to save them. Those teams were built around Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, go be Superman. And the Eagles are not built with their quarterback being Superman. The Eagles are built more like the Justice League or the Avengers, where there's more than one hero on the team. You know what I mean?
I like that.
And remember, the first time the Avengers faced Thanos, they lost. The second time they faced him, they erased him. So, this is the second time they are coming at the evil empire, Thanos, whatever you want to paint the Chiefs as. And remember, they got Saquon now. They got Vic Fangio now. Mm-hmm. They got a different group of guys with the original quartet. There's no more hoopla about the Kelseys facing each other in this game. Right. There's no more, it's Sirianni's first time, right? No, this is going to be different. Just like it was different when they saw Thanos the second time, it was everybody hands on deck.
And how about that Eagles defense? No, the Chiefs defense is underrated as far as people not giving it enough credit because of all the offensive power. I think the Eagles defense, my goodness, and we've talked about it over the last couple of years, Josh, the drafting job Howie Roseman has done. Sensational, and it's bearing fruit. Cooper DeJean, great. You got Nolan Smith has been incredible the last couple of weeks. Jalen Carter, we know what he can do. You got Zach Bond can pop in. 12 total tackles, 8 solo. You got Slay in the back. This team is very well-rounded. I don't think it gets enough credit for that. And again, just like we've been saying, Josh, before he was even drafted to Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts still does not get enough credit as a passer of the football. He's a damn good one. And I hope he shows that in 2 weeks when they face the Chiefs. But it comes down to, how can you beat this team? It seems like like the Chiefs just rope-a-dope you. They don't make a mistake, or the referees don't let them make a mistake. But if the Eagles make a mistake, it seems like it's over, right? Like the Bills didn't make a mistake until the drop pass and two failed 2-point conversions. You can't beat yourself. That's what's so dangerous. They rope-a-dope you.
By the way, Philadelphia Eagles, the only team in the NFL playoffs who have 0 turnovers so far in this postseason. So
okay.
You got that going on. I got to look up the stat, but apparently the Eagles are the first team in 20, 30 years to reach the Super Bowl with 8 turnovers forced and none by their own team. So, I saw it last night. I was half asleep. You know how it is. You're watching Sports Center. You're half asleep, and you're like, "Oh, that looks interesting."
Something pops up. I always find at night, because some of my best ideas come to me, or I'm in a situation like that. Now I'll either if it's on this, I'll take a picture, or I'll make myself a note, because there's zero chance I remember.
That. I usually take the picture, but I think at that point my phone wasn't close enough to my hand. So it's
and then I'll wake up in the morning. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Thanks, Past Andy. Good job. All right. That's a good one. I got no recollection of it at all.
Andy McNamara joining us here on 97.3 ESPN at AndyMC81 on the Twitter X platform. So for you, looking at the games yesterday, tell me what your biggest takeaway was from the two teams that lost.
I think no, I didn't expect that score differential. I thought the Commanders would have kept it within that 6.5. But this is a team it's a rookie. It's a great run, just a year too early. That's all. You look on paper at that Commanders roster, that is filled with C+ and B- players. The difference was they all gelled, they all worked together, and it was a magical run. And what we found was Jaden Daniels was the real deal. Problem was, you came up against a more experienced team. You got beat in the conference championships. That's a hell of a first season for this regime with this quarterback. Great run. So I'm not concerned about the Commanders at all. You now can upgrade through the draft and free agency. This is going to be a hot spot now coming to Washington. It's not the death pool that it was for years under that Dan Snyder, right? Now people want to come here. They want to come to hot young QB who's going to win Rookie of the Year. Like I said before the draft. By the way, you got this guy who's great. So I'm not concerned. The Bills, Josh, is this just like the Chiefs of the Michael Jordan to the Karl Malone of the Bills? They're so good, but you're just in the wrong era. You're at the wrong time. It just doesn't seem like it can happen. You had the most mature, ready, focused Josh Allen in his career. The Bills defense could use some work. So you could, you upgrade the defense. That's all you can do. I think you upgrade the defense. You got the pieces. You better upgrade at wide receiver, because that was a fun little run. Ooh, who are we going to throw it to? But we saw yesterday, it came down to James Cook was the star, and the receivers, something to be desired. You got to upgrade receivers. You got to upgrade that defense if you're Buffalo. And then Josh, you give it a shot next year again. That's all you can do if you're Buffalo. What else you do?
Yeah, to me, Buffalo, they got to get somebody better than Amari Cooper out there at receiver.
He'll walk.
Because, it's the idea that, there's no threat. There's no – the defense doesn't have to respect who is running the routes.
Don't have to game plan.
And yes, it's a credit to Josh Allen of how great he is, that he was able to elevate, Mac Hollins and Kalisha here and all these guys, right? But at some point, it's even Patrick Mahomes still has Travis Kelce. He still has Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
The Eagles have A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley. I'm sorry, but James Cook is just not enough of a threat for the Bills. So they got to give him something else.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And to their credit, Amari Cooper was a smart pickup. He was a receiver coming off a back-to-back 1,100, 1,200 yard seasons with the Browns. Seemed checked out. And I thought for sure it'd be change of scenery, go gets a touchdown that first game. Amari Cooper might be glue factory now. He has fallen off a cliff. So I don't know what happened with him. But essentially, Josh, you need a Stephon Diggs. who's not Stephon Diggs. You don't want the real Stephon Diggs. We don't want that guy anymore. But you need your guy. Keon Coleman is a nice piece. He's not a number one. Right. Shakir is there is no number one, and we saw you can get by to a point, but you're right. You need that go-to guy, and if you can get that with receiver, if I'm Buffalo, I'm looking to draft. The receiver class every year is good. Go find your guy. Now you're going to be getting a late pick, but heck, Xavier Worthy was the 32nd pick in the first round last year for the Chiefs. How he looking?
And by the way, that pick went to the Chiefs because the Bills traded them that pick.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh. You're right. Ooh. Boy, that's a tough one.
The Bills just never traded the Chiefs again. They traded the Chiefs the pick that got them Pat Mahomes. Yep. They traded them the pick that got them Xavier Worthy. And I really got a pick they gave him as well. It's like, Buffalo,
don't trade them.
Stop helping this team.
Why are you helping the team that owns you, that you can't beat in the playoffs? I don't understand.
It's totally different when the Eagles trade with the Cowboys because the Eagles know the Cowboys haven't reached the conference championship game since 1996. Like, it's totally different.
But by the way, did you hear Jerry Jones's press conference? Like,
oh my goodness, yes.
I'm taking a huge risk.
I'm taking a huge risk here.
This guy has no head coach experience. I'm thinking Brian Schottenheimer is sitting here like, what? He's like, look, you guys want me out of my comfort zone? Well, I'm out of it because this guy's a huge risk, and I don't know what's gonna happen. So how do you like that? Like, who are you talking to, you maniac? What are you talking about? Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. Boy, like.
Do you remember 2 years ago? Because in our area, will never be forgotten by Eagle fans. 2 years ago, before the Eagles played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, Jerry Jones that week got up and basically ripped the Eagles and the Chiefs and said he would never build his teams like that because teams like the Eagles and the Chiefs sacrifice their futures.
Oh, the team's in the Super Bowl? You crazy old man?
And like all the other owners basically like ripped him apparently behind the scenes. Like, I think it was like Mike Garafolo or one of those guys that have never reported that basically like at the next owners meetings, like they basically ripped Jerry a new one. But like, don't trash your other owners, dude. Like, especially
when it's a stupid comment. What are you talking about? You're bashing the teams that are in the Super Bowl?
In the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah, great offseason, Jerry. Maybe they'll try to modernize. Hopefully Jerry can maybe press refresh on his browser so he's not getting the stats from running backs that 5 years ago were good, like he built his backfield. Like hello.
Oh my god.
It's boy, the Cowboys are just like Schottenheimer. Like, what a lazy hire. It's like, who can I push around? I know.
What's more crazy? Is it Jerry basically hiring the most like unexciting person in the world, or is it Jacksonville, Liam Cohen pulling his name out, then they fired Trent Baalke, then Cohen goes to be the Jags head coach? Like, which is more insane? Is it Jerry basically hiring Mr. Nothing, or Jacksonville literally firing their GM for a head coach?
Well, did you hear as well? Like, Tampa Bay was like, "Hey, we're making you the most highest paid coordinator," and then he said he was at his kid's appointment.
So the audience might not know the whole story because we have a lot of Eagle Giant fans in our area. Okay, so the story goes like this: so Liam Cohen was doing a bunch of interviews for different jobs. Okay, I think he was a candidate for like 3 different openings, and Jacksonville basically he interviewed with them the first time, and then the second time, and he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay, okay? Mm. And then apparently the Tampa tries to call him to make him the highest paid coordinator in football, all right? Yeah. But apparently his son had a medical emergency, and him and his wife were at the hospital. Then all of a sudden, Jacksonville fires Baalke, and Jacksonville and Tampa are both trying to call this guy, and he won't answer anyone's calls because he's at the hospital with his kid. And then his wife gets on social media and rips everybody saying, our kid's in the hospital. Don't spread rumors about my husband. Okay? Then all of a sudden the report comes out that he's driving to Jacksonville 24 hours later, and on the drive to Jacksonville, he calls Tampa and tells them, by the way, I'm taking the job in Jacksonville.
See you later. I'm on the highway as we speak. Yeah, that's a weird hire. Especially you're letting a guy like Liam Cohen. I don't associate that name with someone who can call their shot. like really? Like Fred Balky, he's not doing a great job. But
I will say Balky is not very well liked around the league.
It doesn't seem like it.
He doesn't get along. Remember, he didn't get along with Jim Harbaugh. He didn't get along with Chip Kelly. He didn't get along with who was it? Who was before Urban Meyer? Doug Marrone. All right. He advised them to hire Meyer. Then he gets the job as GM and fires Meyer. Then he hires Doug Peterson, and he can't get along with Doug Peterson. Like, this dude just, it's like, I can understand why Liam Cohen was like, why do I want to work with a guy who gets everybody fired?
Yeah. Balky's going to end up
Balky's going to end up on television. Like, he's going to be a television guy for like.
Can he talk? I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Okay. Look, you know how it is, Andy. Come on.
Yeah,
how many times
yeah.
have you and I been like scrolling through social media and be like, oh my goodness, who's Doug Whaley, the former Bills GM.
Oh,
he's on ESPN radio all day yesterday talking about the NFL championship games.
Mike Tannenbaum is a madman.
Mike Tannenbaum. Remember Mark Dominic?
Oh, where was he?
The Bucks. He was the Bucks GM before Jason Light.
Oh, okay, right.
So he's now the guy who took the GM shuffle slot on their podcasting network because Lombardi left to go with Bill Belichick to North Carolina.
Right, of course he did. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So like I got all the guys off the top of my head. It's like, random GM is doing jobs. Like there's another guy who used to be a Giants executive who works for NFL Network now. Like, he pops every once in a blue moon. I forget his name off the top of my head, but like, I
want Joe Banner on my show. I keep trying. I can't. I got no contact. Every once in a while, I try to.
He's your white whale.
I don't lose. Let's say I don't lose sleep over it, but I think it'd be very interesting to talk to. And he was in my favorite movie, Draft Day. He's at the end.
Yes.
Joe Banner shows up, and by the time that movie was like a month old, he got fired. So like. Yeah, I think he's an interesting character, but you're right. Like these coaching hires, and I believe the Saints are the only ones without a coach.
Saints don't have a coach, and they're having a second interview this week with Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore.
Oh, right. I guess he refocused from the other week, right?
Yeah,
remember that was the complaint. He's okay, or he's just like yeah, Saquon, yeah, and then if not him, Jalen go run.
Listen, I will give Kellen credit. He called a better game yesterday than the previous two. But there were still a couple play calls, like the opening drive of the second half, that was just made no sense at all. Listen, I want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl, and I want Kellen Moore to leave. Okay, that's my what I want, because I'm tired of Opie calling the plays on the sidelines. All right? Like, why does almost every other offensive coordinator in football who's not a head coach call the plays from a press box? But Kellen Moore is on the sideline with his dopey face and just like Sirianni's like celebrating a touchdown and jumping up and down and screaming, and Kellen Moore has a like sheepish smile, be like, yeah, that's great, guys,
Get up in the booth, pal. Get out of here.
Joe Brady's in the booth. You know what I mean? Like, did you see your Ohio State Buckeyes? Chip Kelly, where is he? In the booth.
Chip Kelly's in the booth. How about that? And I'll tell you this quick draft note. By God, I want Will Howard for the Browns. Oh my Lord. Oh,
you might get him,
dude.
You might get him.
I have. Speaking of the draft day movie, anybody who watched it, remember he wrote on the green piece of paper, Vontae Mack, no matter what. I'm going to write it. I'm going to put it on there. Will Howard, no matter what. This guy has Josh Allen isms with him. He's not Josh Allen, but he's got physical. This is a guy I want. Where do you think, just quick, there's tons of mocks, like the Eagles. Where are we looking? I've seen mock D-line for you guys. Like, where are we looking? Where are we looking draft?
Oh, I think the Eagles will just take anything at this point. If they
Just take best available.
Exactly. I mean,
I trust Roseman. Good Lord.
I mean, listen, if they win the Super Bowl, this team, remember the year after they won the last Super Bowl, that was the year they drafted Dallas Goedert and Jordan Mailata, and I think it was Milton Williams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, win the championship and then just go best player available and have at it, Haas.
Just
remember,
go at it.
They didn't have a first-round pick that year because of the previous trade that they had made. So what happened was they had a second-round pick in 2018, and they traded up over the Cowboys,
right,
to get Dallas Goedert.
Oh, okay.
And the whole thing was they stole Dallas from Dallas.
Right. I vaguely remember that. That was the old Baker draft. Oh
Yeah.
boy, yeah. Jeez, no, it's I feel. The Eagles, just like I thought the Bills were in the best position to beat the Chiefs, I think the Eagles are now in the best position to beat the Chiefs. But, Josh, there's that intangible. There's something you can't just put your finger on, right?
Yeah.
They shouldn't have won a whole bunch of their games, but they did. They shouldn't have had this, but they did.
But
and
they
people
did.
people saying the refs. There's a couple bad calls, but man, you know what? You just got to overcome. Right?
Andy, keyword, but they did.
But they did. They did. No one asked. How many? You go back. All those Brady Patriots teams, there's lots of excuses. There was lots of what ifs, right? But you got it. In the end, no one's going to look back and say, boy, that week 8 game, Josh, they didn't really do. No, they made history and they three-peated, right? Or they got there and got beat by the Eagles or whatever happens. But they're just such a finely tuned machine. That's what they do. And no matter what situation, nothing surprises them. They can run, they can pass. They get open when they need to. And again, do they get the odd break? Yes, I think that's fair to say. But Josh, I think
most superstars do. Superstars do.
Sure. And again, it comes down to you cannot beat yourself. The Chiefs don't beat themselves. That's step one. Tom Brady said on the telecast, Belichick said, told him, don't beat yourself. You don't beat yourself, you're already a step ahead.
Listen, man. The Philadelphia Eagles are now 7-0 when Sean Hockley is the head ref of a game in the Nick Sirianni era. All right?
I saw you post that.
And
is he doing Super Bowl?
You don't think Sean Hockley wanted that game over as soon as possible when he got on that mic and said, "We have warned Washington if they do that again, we are giving the Eagles a touchdown."
That
was
wild.
Sean Hockley's way of saying, "Washington, shut up and go to your room."
Like, have you ever seen that before in your life? I've never seen that said. I've never seen that said in an NFL game.
And did he not? Did he not look really mad too?
It's like God, we got places to be. Come on, what are we doing? Right? All the memes they had, like Ralph from The Simpsons diving through the window with Luvu or whatever, jumping over stuff. They had wrestlers diving out to like the meme.
Just I got an Uber at 7.
Yeah,
the Uber's at 7. Let's move this along, boys.
Yeah, I love that rule though. It's just such a frustration rule. It's like, you do it again, I'm getting a touchdown. How you like that? Huh? Sit down, don't move. Okay? Thanks.
By the way, really quick before I let you go, Tom from the Villas just texted in a little bit earlier. And he said Carson Wentz is going to be sitting on the bench and watch another one of his former backups win a Super Bowl. And he's going to be in the same situation that he was 6-7 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Because Wentz is the backup for the Chiefs.
That's right. It's that's so interesting that he's in that situation. What if the ultimate redemption and like Mahomes goes down in the fourth quarter and Carson Wentz beats the Eagles?
No, the better story would be Mahomes gets knocked out of the game due to concussion. Carson Wentz has a chance to win the game with a 2-minute drill and throws an interception.
Oh, that would just be, you know what? Then at least he can't say he didn't have any, he'd have no excuses left in his life. That'd be it. But yeah, so he would get potentially, if the Chiefs win, a second Super Bowl by being just kind of there. Like,
another reason why for the Chiefs to win a championship.
He's like, hey, how are you? Right? Like,
can you imagine the book tour Carson Wentz 2 times Super Bowl champion?
He can say it.
Oh my God.
Well, not yet. He's gonna be able to say
Not
one-time
yet.
champ
Not
because
yet.
the Eagles are gonna take this thing. They're gonna do it. I mean, 3 points Eagles. I'm taking 3 points Eagles early.
Andy McNamara at AndyMC81 on the Twitter X platform. Plug the Sick Podcast.
Oh, baby. We got live Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be doing free agency look ahead and a draft deep dive. So I know for Eagles fans, you guys are worried about you winning a Super Bowl. But for me, I got nothing. So what I'm doing is I'm looking ahead who's going to be free agents. And I'm really diving into this draft class, not just quarterbacks, but all these position groups. So if you're a fan of the draft and free agency just in general, tune in. We'll throw in some best bets as well. That's on YouTube, The Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara, on X at SickPodBrowns, and at AndyMC81.
Andy, always appreciate you jumping on, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Go Birds! See you, buddy.
Absolutely. Go Birds. Josh Hennig here in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios. We'll wrap up the Power Hour, known as Game Night on the Other Side, here on 97.3 ESPN. And yes, the Flyers are back in action, the second best team in Philadelphia, taking on that other Josh Harris-owned team. Yes, the New Jersey Devils tonight. Coverage begins in about 10 minutes here on 97.3 ESPN.
It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey tonight on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Listen as Tim Saunders and Todd Fedoruk bring you all the exciting play-by-play action.
They score! Konechny on the one-timer, and DK makes no mistake, the power play goal.
It's Flyers Devils tonight. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. It's Flyers hockey all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia Flyers hockey, 97.3 ESPN.
Go get your game on at the Gallery Bar, Book, and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery, go to Fanatic Sportsbook, and go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
With GMF financing to qualified buyers, excludes Traverse and Corvette, excludes prior sales. Start the new year right in a new Chevy from Bennett, where we sell new Chevys at the true GM supplier employee price. Yeah, you pay what our employees pay, not a penny more. Plus, at Bennett Chevrolet, you keep all the rebates. That's incredible. That's right, you save both ways, saving you up to 20% off the sticker. But it gets even better, because right now there's available 0.9% financing, saving you even more. 0.9. And get this, if you're looking for a pre-owned, Bennett Chevy will pay you a minimum $10,000 for any old clunker you can get here towards any pre-owned in stock. You'll get at least 10 grand for total junk. Imagine how much you'll get for a good trade. And one more thing, Bennett's sales team is paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. That makes a huge difference. No hype, no pressure. Together, let's drive. Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
Shop now at the Home Depot and get up to 35% off select appliances. Plus, save up to an extra $400 on select appliances like Frigidaire. From the stainless steel French door refrigerator with crisp steel drawers to keep produce fresh longer, to the 5-burner electric range that lets you cook more at once and get meals on the table faster. Right now, get up to 35% off select appliances like Frigidaire. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Pricing valid January 9th through January 29th. U.S. only. See store online for details. Minimum purchase required.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messethorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25.
Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
We're famous for our buffalo wings. The Piccalilli. When it comes to cooking wings, we're the king. The Piccalilli.
On game day, don't wing it. Take the trip to the Pick, South Jersey's king of the wing. Try their award-winning wings, tails, and ears in mild, spicy, or hot, or signature flavors like garlic parm, hot honey, Jim Beam maple, and more. For eat-in or takeout, get your chicken wing fix on Route 206 at the Piccalilli Inn. Join the flock. Follow them on Facebook for events and game day specials.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Every bet you place brings you closer to the perks only Caesars can offer. So download the app using the promo code Radio1000 and place your first bet today. If you win, great. If not, you'll get it back as a bonus bet up to $1,059 for Super Bowl 59. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. If qualifying bet loses, bet amount returned is bonus bet. Bonus bet expires 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and on the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Before we wrap up the hour, George from Summers Point chimes in and says, the word I would use to describe the Eagles' season is chemistry. It is a one-for-all mentality that has this team where it is now. I'm not sure where it came from, but I hope they can maintain it with George Summers Point. It came from a couple of different guys. Saquon Barkley. It came from the head coach, Nick Sirianni, Lane Johnson. It was a collective. It was the offensive line going to the head coach and the coordinator saying, we need to run the ball more. So I think that's where it's a lot of people it came from. Steve Evander chimes in and says, I'm glad we have 2 whole weeks for our offensive line to heal up. The Eagles need to play clean, mistake-free game, so the refs, the league, and Taylor Swift can't steal it from us. Well, Taylor Swift has no impact on the game. And I don't think I'm going to be honest, we'll get into this more tomorrow when I fill in on the Sports Bash from 2 to 6 on 97.3 ESPN. I generally don't think the league wants the Chiefs to win. I'll tell you why tomorrow on 97.3 ESPN.
Take the winning drive to RK Kia of Vineland. Brand new Kias under $6 a day. $6. That's